Yep.
Hey, good evening. It's a Victory Wednesday at Halas Report. Good evening, Bears fans. With us tonight, we got Mike, the Bear fan, Ever, the producer, in the background. We made some changes. That's why you saw a little bit different intro today. We got Bear fan Dan, we got Bear Down Mike, and we got Woody, who is recovered now from the bout of COVID. Good to see you healthy, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Also, we got a Bears win, right? So we'll just jump right into it. Let's look right here at the stats from this week. Pretty good stat week for the Bears. I mean, we pretty much covered everything.
Pretty much.
Now, looking at these stats, and I'll go to Dan first. I mean, Dan, when the season started, did you think we'd see a performance like we did this week against Atlanta?
No, not at all. No, not at all.
I mean, Woody, we were talking, week 3, remember? We were sort of going, man, we got the first and second pick. Are we going to, is this the same crap as last year? We're going to win 3 games. I mean, the way this team has played over the last 5 or 6 weeks, this is a completely different football team.
Yeah, the defense, man. Wow. We were after week 4 with interceptions. Now we're leading the league in interceptions. It's just amazing how this defense, woke up these last 7-8 weeks. And we got the big thing is the rookies it's not all veterans. It's all these rookies are Tyreek Stevenson, 2 interceptions. Sweat was a good, pickup. So we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, Bear Down Mike, who's with us in the car right now. Bear Down Mike, I mean, you look at week 1, look at week 18, these 2 Bears-Packers games, 2 totally different teams coming into this, but this defense went from the worst in the league to arguably one of the best in the league this season.
Yeah, from the beginning of the season, our defense didn't look like nothing at all, nothing to brag about. We were worried that we paid Tremaine Edmonds all this money and not getting any promises from him. But, yeah, looks like Eberflus turned things around. Guys are starting to believe in that hits principle and looking a lot better now. I mean, we're damn near top of the division, top in defense, and let's hope we continue this.
Well, it's not just the defense falls. I mean, look at Fields last week, a solid week, right? 20 for 32 for 268, a TD, no interceptions, 11 rushes for 45 yards to include a score. I mean, he's been doing what we need to do. He needs to do to win ball games. I mean, almost had the strip sack in the 4th, but you can't do anything on the blind side. That's going to happen. But another solid week for Fields, so much so the fans were chanting his name towards the end of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And you don't think Foles heard that? I'm sure he did.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did too. But then, let's continue with the offense. Khalil Herbert, back-to-back 100-yard-plus performances, 6.9 yards per carry with another touchdown. DJ Moore, 9 catches for 159. This has been a career year for DJ Moore, and year 1 with Justin. That averages 17.7 per catch is just ridiculous. I mean, guys, the offense, the offensive line, I think, has been there since probably mid-season. But Dan, do you think this is going to save Getsy's gig now, the way this offense has played the last couple of weeks?
I don't know.
Negative.
Me?
Negative. He's a double agent.
Negative.
I mean, there's going to be arguments made that the offense has been evolving, as Getsy's been evolving the offense as the season goes, but the numbers are looking good for Herbert, Moore, Fields, and a couple other guys. And then defensively, Edmonds, we were all worried, we spent all this money. Look at another solid week. And then the rookies. I've liked Tyreek since week 1, right? Since we drafted the kid. 2 picks, 5 tackles. Dexter, which we thought, why did we draft this kid? Well, another sack and a half this week. I mean, he's consecutive weeks with something in the sack column. And then speaking of interceptions, all 3 of these guys had interceptions this week. So, I mean, this team, Woody, does not look like the team we saw in the first 5 weeks. Not even close.
Nope. And that's what saved Eberflus's job, I think. But
I completely agree.
The Getsky thing, I still next year is supposed to be our year to definitely get in the playoffs. It was a 2-year process. Do we really?
Yeah, we have to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Do we really want to bring an offensive coordinator that really did shit last year and the half of this year into this playoff scheme that we're supposed to have next year? I don't think.
Well, I mean, the same argument, Woody, unfortunately, and Dan, I mean, you could make the argument, though, why change the offense coordinator and maybe possibly set you back? Couldn't you?
Yeah.
So, it was a great week of football. We got some Packer fans. I'll be on a little bit. But before we go, let's wrap up this Atlanta game. Studs and duds. I take it this is Mike, this is your studs and duds, is it not?
Oh, for sure. Brisker tore up 5 tackles, 4 pass defenses, 2 interceptions. And, yeah, my dud is Montez Sweat, unfortunately, this week for only having 1 assist.
I like the Brisker. Sweat, I mean, I get. I'll save that. But Dan, who are your studs and duds this week?
Mine would have to be studded. Have to be DJ Moore. 9 catches for 159 yards.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as far as duds go, I Sweat. Maybe Sweat.
All right. Bear down, Mike. Who are your studs and duds this week?
My stud is going to be Khalil Herbert. Back-to-back games, over 100 yards rushing. I mean, it looks like he's finally finding his groove. I mean, it's too bad towards the end of the season. But he got hurt, but he's making Paul think like we should keep this guy. I heard some rumors about maybe he'd be gone. I don't know why we're still in his rookie contract. As far as my dud, it's Tyler Scott. This kid's not making the catches. He's not aware where the out of bounds is. Justice should have more than 1 touchdown thrown at that Atlanta game.
Yeah, he's had a kind of a rough couple of weeks. Woody, how about you? Who are your studs and who are your duds?
Ready?
Yeah.
My stud. I'm going to go with Roshan because he beat his college teammate in touchdowns on Sunday.
And
my
who
dud.
called it?
That's a good one.
My dud. Santos, you missed the field goal. Sorry.
And I'll take the credit for Roshan because I did call it in the pregame, right, that he would outdo his college teammate. He is also my stud because he took the first-round pick and said, hey, buddy, I should have been the starter in Texas, right? That's my stud. My dud, Scott is kind of my dud too. So, nothing new from what anyone said. But, I mean, he's had some balls he should have caught that he hasn't. And he's really going to make it hard for the Bears to walk away from Darnell Mooney. Because I don't know if I trust this guy to be the 3rd, the 4th, or even the 5th receiver right now. So that's why he's my dud. Now, we look at, fellas, not only did we pick up the win, but we clinched the #1 pick in the draft. So this becomes the trade of the century. I mean, you want to talk about fleecing Carolina. We traded away the #1 last year. We now have the #1 this year. We also got DJ Moore in this trade. And both guys we drafted from the trades last year are now starters on this team. So the big question is, what do we think, the Bears would do? Let us know in the comments. Do we trade it? Do we keep it? An interesting take here from Jeremy Fowler. He says that, hey, look, the Bears could take this number 1 pick and get even a bigger haul than they got last year's from the Panthers. I mean, Woody, what do you think about that?
You did it last year. Okay. You made your steal, DJ Moore. Get the best player in the draft. A need that we want and need is a wide receiver. Best guy in the draft, and he could be an impact on the field ASAP. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming out, which most probably is because he skipped the bowl game, you get him. I know you want draft capital. Trade our other pick away for some draft capital. I know we won't get as much as the number 1, but you got to get the best player, which is Marvin Harrison Jr.
I mean, yeah, Dan, looking what you see here on the screen, I mean, do you think Poles really tries to catch lightning twice and get a massive haul off the number 1 and then hope you still have a good receiver to take somewhere else in your new first round or your original first round pick?
I say go with keep the first pick, get Marvin Harrison Jr., and then when it comes to the second pick, maybe move down to get some draft capital.
Thanks, Dan.
Mike Fan?
Well, before I say anything, did you see the comment? I tried to put it up.
Yeah, put that back up. Let me address that. Look with now because the draft orders changed, right? So now Arizona's at what, 4? So, and I think who's at number 2 right now?
New England.
New England is New England at 2, and who's at 3?
Arizona.
Washington.
So if I can maybe get Washington or the Pats and trade with them, that's the only way I think I'm trading the number 1 overall pick, because I know I could probably trade with the Pats and still get Marvin Harrison. I can probably trade with Washington and still get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Wow.
If I go anything deeper than that, Arizona's taking them. So the way I've been feeling about this, if Ryan Poles' guy is Marvin Harrison Jr., he doesn't execute any kind of trade that puts getting his guy in jeopardy. Is that kind of where you're at, Mike?
Oh, I'm 100% there for sure, 100%. I think we get Marvin Harrison for sure. We don't trade out of it.
Nope.
Say, for instance, we're at the 10 spot right now. If we beat the Packers, kick them out of the first or out of the playoffs, it'll move us to 12, 13, depending on the outcomes of the other games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we win, we get out of the top 10 with the second pick. But regardless, we got the first pick. So,
I mean,
I think if we have the 10 spot, we trade the 10 away, like Dan said. But if we get the 12 or 13, I think we keep it.
Yeah.
Well, and then we got some other things to consider too, right? Now we'll get more into this, next week after the season's over and we start looking at this. But, there are players that could be gone. I know none of us think Justin will be, but the media is going to keep pushing it. And there's a bunch of articles that came out today about possible trade scenarios for the Bears to trade away Fields. Lucas Patrick could be gone. Cody Whitehair could be gone. Darnell Mooney is a free agent, could be gone. Foreman's a free agent, could be gone. Basically, though, I think Patrick, Whitehair, and Jackson all have contracts but could all be gone. So we could have some needs. I don't think we're necessarily have to draft the running back, but we're probably drafting a wide receiver, probably drafting a center. We're probably drafting a center or a corner. John, we'll get to you in a minute, Bust Boy. I got something for you. But yeah, let's get some comments on here. Give me some comments before we get in on that. Do we trade them? These and what do you think about these guys who could possibly be gone after this game in Green Bay? And also another one that's not on this list but should is Ngakoue. Now his season's over with the broken foot, but I don't think he's going to get re-signed.
St. Brown.
What now?
St. Brown as well.
Yeah, and EQ St. Brown, he might be gone too, even though he's cheap. And another one that could be gone is the old man himself if you choose. But I think if he's gone, it's because he retires, not because the Bears don't want to re-sign him. And that's Mercedes Luke.
He needs rest. He needs rest.
I mean, you know what, though, Woody? For all the crap we give him, though, he's been worth the $1 million we paid him.
Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. I hope everybody hears me. I don't give a fuck. If for some reason we get rid of Fields and we draft a quarterback, I don't think there's any quarterback that's coming out of the draft that can lead us into the playoffs right away next year. So we got to think about that. If we get Marvin Harrison Jr. and still have Justin Fields, that's a need we do need is a wide receiver. That could get us into the playoffs with the defense we're running. If we kick Justin Fields out and get another quarterback, we're not getting into playoffs next year. I don't care who you are. You're not a CJ Stroud. Okay, he was one in how many to get in, play as good as he did. But that's my opinion, is that we're not getting to playoffs with one of these quarterbacks coming in.
Well, and I wish I had the PFF.
That was Chicago anyway.
Well, I wish I had the PFF set up for it. But, there's the stat there between the QBR for, dangerous combos, quarterback to receiver. Fields to DJ Moore is the number one connection in the NFL, stat-wise.
We'll have that.
They're the most dangerous duo in the league. Why would you break that up?
Exactly.
I actually
having his first season. Why would you want to break that up?
Not going to break that up.
Well, Mike, now I'm going to go to Mike real quick because I know he wanted to talk about this real quick. Mike, I'll let you run with this because you saw the stuff on it. So why don't you run with this piece right here about Todd Monken?
1 second.
And this confirmation that this guy wants to leave?
Never said that. I seen an article from a pretty decent source. I don't know if you guys actually seen it. Obviously, there's a lot of articles and stuff like that. But possible if they let go Eberflus, what do you think about Todd Monken coming in? He's the offensive coordinator of the Ravens. He's been in the league for 35, not in the league, but he's been coaching for 35 years, 9 seasons in the pro level, and 5 years offensive coordinator. And I mean, look what he's doing with Lamar, and he's similar to Justin Fields.
And he's a local guy, right? He's
from Wheaton, Illinois.
I'm not against it, but it would be a first-time head coach position again.
Yeah, I think here, I know
you got to read the process again.
True, but look what Eberflus has done with, the offense and Justin Fields. He's done great on the defense, don't get me wrong. But if you bring an offensive mindset to Justin Fields, I know it's switching another offensive coordinator. I think it'll help Justin Fields because, like I said, Lamar Jackson is similar to Justin Fields, and they're doing great out there.
As much as I hate Luke, and I've been calling for Getsy to be fired for since the Lions game, the first Lions game, maybe even before that.
I wanted the Denver game.
Yeah, I mean, but as these games have been going on, the season's gone on. He has grown as a play caller too. The offense has gotten more creative. The offensive has moved better. I really don't see any coaching changes in Chicago except for them hiring a DC at this point. I mean, as much as it pains me to say this, because I wanted Getsy gone, I don't think they're going to fire him. I think, especially if we win this week in Green Bay, we're going to have some Packer fans on. We're going to talk about that game in a minute. But, I mean, Getsy, since that Detroit game, you have to admit there's been a noticeable difference in the game calling and the way they've approached this offense and what they've done with Fields and let Fields loose more. It's almost like his offense was too advanced for where the offense was at the beginning of the season, but now everyone's kind of catching up and now it's starting to click. And polls might be like, you know what, we're going to let this run another year. And maybe next year it's the entire staff is on the hot seat. You don't make the playoffs, you're all gone.
That last comment that came up, about the bringing Matt in, that one right there. That's what I was saying, but there's no way Eberflus is going to go to
I don't think he's going to step down.
He's not going to be if we're going to fire him or say, hey, we're going to demote you, he's going to be a coach or a DC somewhere else.
I don't think he'll be a head coach anywhere, possibly a DC for sure. But why move if you're going to be a DC anyway?
Yep.
Well, and by all the metrics, you more than doubled your win total from last year. You went from the worst defense in the league to one of the top 5 defenses in the league. You went from worst in the league on turnovers to leading the league in turnovers. You went from the worst run defense in the league to the best run defense in the league. Just on metrics alone, Eberflus will not get fired. He's more than doubled the wins. The defense
Oh my goodness gracious.
literally 180 better than last year.
Dude. Oh my God.
Eberflus won't get fired. There's no way Eberflus gets fired.
Well, just bring
Based
Lovie
off
Smith back. Fuck it.
He said, you never know.
Yeah.
I got a question for everybody on the panel.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I was gonna say if he got demoted to DC, he'll just leave and go to the Eagles or Green Bay.
There you go, bud. You say that, Sheagles. They play good.
I think it makes more. I think for polls, it makes more sense for them to hire a DC because you want your head coach to be focused on being the head coach, not the DC. And I think, believe it or not, I think Getsy might be relatively safe. I wouldn't say like after the first Lions game, I was like, okay, he's done. And then especially after this, remember this clip of polls, I was thinking, okay, Getsy's out of here. But after the last 3 weeks, Dan, I mean, you can, and I think they can make a case, can't they?
Yeah.
It depends. It depends what Warren, like, I'm hearing a lot of polls. Yeah, it's what Warren wants as well. Because remember his comment, he's going to bring people in that he wants there, not who's there now.
He's not going to go over the top of polls because he doesn't want to alienate his GM, who's been phenomenal. I think. And okay, what's to even say Warren? I think even Warren and Poles are going to have a discussion. They're going to look at the staff from top to bottom, and you could probably make you can make an argument for Getsy to stay based off the second half of the season or post that Lions game meltdown. And let's be honest, it wasn't all Getsy. I mean, some of it was the Eberflus not making the right call too. But we saw growth even out. Not only did we see growth out of the players this year, we saw growth out of the coaching staff.
Ken, I agree with you. Hey, I agree with you. But it's not like it's Getsky's first year.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not his first year. He had his chance. He obviously sucked last year, and he sucked at the half of this year. So are we gonna determine this guy's future on half of a year? No, you can't.
Yeah. I think they will. I think it's going to be a big determining factor in whether they keep him or not. But look, we still got another week of football, so we're going to bring some Packer fans here in the middle. We already got one in the back room. Before we do that, hey, look it. I mean, he's not wrong, is he? What else is there to do in Green Bay besides tip cows and drink beer?
They can watch the Milwaukee Brewers games.
I want to know from Packer fans when they come on, what else is there to do in Green Bay except for Packer football? I mean, he's not wrong, right? So, we get the Packers this week. Yes, it's billboard material. Okay, Justin, why the heck did you give it to him? But I mean, he's also not wrong. This also makes a great case for keeping Justin, right? So we got the Packers this week, a little billboard material. I want to know, as the Packer fans come on, what is there to do in Green Bay besides? And there we go. We got our first Packer fan to the stage. Oh, look at fifth straight sweep. Welcome to the show.
What else is there? Let's lay owning the Bears. I mean, that's what it's been for like the last 3 decades is owning you guys, owning the.
Okay.
I mean,
you're on a Bears show now. Okay.
I understand, but he asked the question. I mean, is he not trying to be a smartass about it? I mean, I'm just answering smartass question back.
Well, no, that's fine. Look, so your answer is the only thing to do in Green Bay is watch Packers football.
No, there's plenty of things to do in Green Bay, man.
Milwaukee Brewers, right?
Yeah, there's football, basketball. I mean, bro, there's all kinds of sports in the Wisconsin area.
Well, the Bucks moved to Green Bay from Milwaukee?
No, I don't think so. But still, we still watch them.
But it's still Wisconsin until Cheeseville, okay?
Yeah, it's all connected. You're not gonna. It's not gonna change. But yeah, we like our football. I mean, we're proud. 13 championships. I mean, we got reasons to be proud.
And I'm gonna be the first one to say that I was the one that knocked out Jordan Love, think he wasn't gonna be shit. And let me tell you, he's working out for you this year. He's only gonna
look. I'm a Packer fan. I have my doubts about him too. Until you see it,
Sorry, fellas, that music can only mean one thing. it can only mean one thing.
Hey.
Welcome John Dorn to the show.
John Dorn, no yelling, or I'll boot you right out.
He got his own music.
Yeah,
You should feel honored, John.
I'm famous.
Hi, John.
These guys had to pay me to come on the show. It's pretty sad, huh?
John,
We're always
Dude,
waiting
they
for
begged
John
me.
Dorn to say something.
$100 in my
must not be
fucking
doing
banking
anything.
account just because hey, get on the show. I'm like, well, it cost you $100. They paid it.
Well,
Here I
John,
am.
to answer your question, John could probably answer it better. He's closer to Green Bay than I am. I'm in Texas
So
right now.
John,
So
I mean, look at John. We threw this up. I mean, is he wrong? What
No,
else?
he's totally wrong.
Packers
There's
football.
more to do out here than you can do in the city. I can go in my back door and fucking take a piss off my porch. Can you?
What's the city?
I can go outside and shoot my
Wisconsin?
gun and go shoot squirrels right out my back door. Can you?
Hey, John, what's the city in Wisconsin?
What?
What's the city?
I live in Wauwega, towards Waupaca. It's a central
No, the
Wisconsin.
question, John. What cities in Wisconsin?
what's there to do? What's there to do in Green Bay is what they're saying, other than watch football. They're trying to just say that's all we got.
If you're within a mile of the stadium, you can go to any garage. They got open bar.
Yeah, there's so many bars. So,
There's a bar in every corner in Wisconsin.
every town has a bar, a post office,
That's funny.
every little town.
But
I mean,
hey,
but look,
John,
no,
like I said,
seriously,
John,
though,
like,
I mean,
like I
let's talk
told,
about the game now. I mean, look at the
like I
Justin
told,
Fields comment. It's fun, right? It's a good War Week banter. But let's talk about this game because look at guys, this is not the same two teams we saw in Week 1 by any stretch of the means. Jordan Love, by all accounts, has grown immensely in Green Bay this year. He's having a heck of a good season. He's had some downs, right? I mean, beginning of the year he had some downs. But he's had a lot of ups. He's thrown a lot of touchdowns. You guys have won more games than I think you thought you would. I'm not many Green Bay fans thought they'd be in a win or go home situation to get into the playoffs at this point. The Bears, like we've already mentioned, went from basically the worst defense in the league to a top 5 defense, from the worst run defense to the best run defense. This offense has come a little bit more alive for the Bears as well. So these are not the same two teams that saw each other in Week 1 by any stretch of the means.
Well, let me say something. Is that I know we have good young cornerbacks, but Reed is a fucking stud for Green Bay. He's going to be tough to stop.
And one thing about it, we're coming back healthy this game. We're going to have Wicks back. Watson's going to be back. Reed's going to be playing. Musgrave's coming back. So we got two of our top tight ends coming back. I mean, then we got Alexander coming back. Now that's another interesting thing because he can come back because actually before he got suspended, whatever, when he did play, he wasn't playing the greatest. I mean, Robert even say that he hasn't played the greatest.
Yeah, no.
And I thought Green Bay's defense cornerbacks were a little bit in trouble when you guys traded away Douglas because I'm sorry, I liked Douglas when he was there.
We did too. I did too. I was shocked when that happened.
We were all talking about it. We were not happy about losing Douglas.
We're shocked.
But you guys are stepping up, and that's
Valentine and Valentine are both stepping up.
So
really.
is Alexander going to go out for the coin flip?
Probably.
Yeah, you're determined, man. You're determined.
The story out of the Green Bay today about that is, he didn't expect to get suspended for it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. But he said because he got suspended, the conversations they had has made his relationship better with them. So, honestly, we thought he was going to be traded away, but I don't think they're going to let him go. He's a great corner. He's just having a down year.
Well, I think what's happening is shoulder.
Well, I was going to say, John, reading some of the posts from Bill and some of the other posts on Bleacher Report after all that, John, I thought you were looking for a new player that you guys were going to get rid of Alexander, but I guess that's not going to happen, is it?
Actually, I don't think it will. I think it's another thing. I mean, right now they really can't. I mean, I don't understand camp itself. They'll be a full school.
I'm going to ask John this too about the game and stuff like that. So, Packers getting, they win, they're in. Why is the spread only 3? The home team should get 3 points all together.
Both teams are playing good right now.
Are they expecting this to be a close game?
I think it will be. Yeah, I think that's what they're thinking.
I mean, look, the coin flip is Joe Barry. Which Joe Barry are we going to get to come out?
Yeah.
I mean, our defense has played lights out in some games, and then in other games we've just made Baker Mayfield look like he's been playing for 12 years. He had his career game against us.
To me, right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet Baker. I would say Bryce Young. Bryce Young is good against you guys.
Yeah, we're playing on house money right now. I mean, we wanted to find out if Love's going to be our guy. We found that out. We wanted to see how the receivers and all that would gel and everything. Everything is going our way. If we lose tomorrow or Sunday, hey, oh well, we can go to off season and say, hey, you know what? Next year we're going to have a good team.
Well, all Green Bay has to do is be good this year. What, you get like $40 million next year?
Yeah. So, and you can get more, possibly more.
And you know, look, I think both teams are playing with house money, right?
Yeah.
For you guys, though, it's like crap. Here we are again, week 18, win or go home. It's the same scenario, just a different opponent, right? Because last year you got a Lions team that started out like
it's just like we're the same spot. And I just kind of left. Okay, right? Okay, Love, it's your turn now. Now let's see what we can do. Same fucking situation, everything. Yeah.
And the difference from last year is, I mean, we had Rodgers, we had higher expectations. This year, I mean, our expectations, we had no clue. I mean, going into the season with Love, I mean, you guys seen how he was. I mean, first week, he looked like he was going to be something, and then week 2, we woke up.
What I like about this year's team, though, is they got fighting them. They don't quit.
Yeah, no.
They play hard.
Look, I doubted you guys too in the beginning. I mean, you guys had all off season. I heard it all off season. We're going to destroy us and everything. And I talked my crap too, and it didn't happen week 1. I gave you guys. I said you guys were going to win 6. You guys already won 7, so it's one more than I thought you were going to win this year.
Fleur said something about the Steeler game, middle of the Steeler game. He kind of, even though we didn't win it, that he kind of put a little more pressure on the receivers and the quarterback and open up the playbook a little more. And then he knows right there that he could open up even more and more. And now you're seeing it. Now you're starting to see everything starting to click now.
Well,
I think
this is just scratching the surface. This fucking offense is going to be nasty.
Week 1, I think the big story out of week 1, it was all Aaron Jones, right? That second half came on. Yeah. Aaron Jones took over. I mean, Aaron Jones single-handedly won the Packers week 1. He made Jordan Love look really good, which inflated some egos of a few Packer fans. And then they came back down to earth for a couple weeks, I think. And then Love kind of grew, right?
Yeah.
Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Well, we lost Jones in that game. He pulled up lame in that last touchdown when he ran in. Yeah. So that forced Jordan Love to have to put the team on his back and do it like, he got to play better. So I honestly, him losing Jones at that time, now I could say it probably helped Love, but it certainly, if we have Jones running, it's going to be more, and he's running great right now. He's averaging 100. Last 2 games, he's put up 120 yards each game. I mean, he's ready for you guys.
It's same as Herbert too.
I was going to say,
I know. I seen Herbert's numbers.
Against the run?
Yeah, we suck against the run.
Well, you're going to see the best running back in the fucking MC North this weekend. That's what you're going to see.
Since you said that, I actually had a question before you guys come on. I even have it for the Packers too, so I actually did come prepared. Obviously, the offenses, yearly stats, Love got Justin Fields, but he does have him by 4 more games. Not that consideration.
Well,
let me finish real quick, John. You'll be able to go. Looking at the other positions, obviously we're going to agree Love is having a better year. You know what I mean? 100%. All the running back situation. Do you know who the leading rusher it is for the Bears? And this will go towards you guys too, because I have your stats as well. Do you know who the leading rusher for the Bears right now? Ken, you can't say nothing because we already discussed this.
I think it's either Fields or it's either Herbert. One of those two.
I'm thinking Herbert. Yeah, Herbert.
Woody?
What?
Who do you think?
Paying attention?
Yeah, who's leading rushing?
Yeah.
He's looking.
No, he's looking it up. That's the other thing we do here in Pennsylvania is watch hockey. I think I say Fields.
You're correct. 630 yards. Herbert isn't far behind him with 583.
Yeah.
Now you look towards the Packer side. It doesn't happen very often, but Dillon is actually leading the way at 613 yards. Jones just behind him at 540.
He's been hurt. Yeah, Jones been hurt quite a bit.
So, I mean,
Jones only played 2 games, I think, or 3 games.
Yeah.
But the running back room is pretty equal. They got pretty decent weapons. But on the flip side, with the wide receivers, we got DJ Moore, finally got a number 1 receiver. 1,300 yards, which is his record. The only record he hasn't beat for single season is catches, and all he needs is one to tie coming into this week.
Just let him get two, guys.
He actually finally outbeats the wide receivers of the Packers, but they are young. Don't get me wrong. 681 from Reed, which is an outstanding rookie. I didn't think he was going to be that great. I thought it was going to be towards
which is
decent, but Dobbs is behind him at 674. So both them combined equals DJ Moore. And you guys never really been a part of that because you always had Adams or a good big receiver.
Yeah, well, that's the difference. That's the difference for
receiver to help out that younger core, or are they just going to stick with?
Well, we'll see what.
Well, that's the.
If you look at like all the receivers are young, and when one gets hurt, and no one steps in. Doesn't matter who gets hurt. 2 or 3 will get hurt. All we got, even practice squad, they jump in like Bull Melton jumps in, and we don't skip his beat. It's like,
that's the thing is we don't have a number. We don't really have a number one. We have a bunch of number twos that they get all. I mean, Love spreads the ball around. He hits like 8 or 9 guys, and they each get like 60, 70 yards, and that's it.
Musgrave gets hurt. When we did that, we had that wide receiver. We have a bunch of number twos, and Pac-Man's. Yeah, you guys suck because you don't have a number one. You got a bunch of number twos. You don't have any number ones. And now it's funny to have a Packer fan come on here.
We don't have a number one.
We don't need a number one.
We don't have a one yet, man. We don't. I mean, look, Watt's supposed to be our one, but he's a lame duck, man. He can't hold his shit together. If anybody's our number one, it's Dobbs or Reed.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. When Mike brought those stats up, that we have more, and those other 2 receivers combined, what Moore had. Well, that's telling me that Green Bay has has some more options to go to.
Yes,
instead of one.
That's what we got. We got a lot
more equal now than before. That's
why Love had his success. He's not targeting one guy. He's just hitting a wide open guy. Who's ever open is who he's throwing it to.
Right.
And they're doing their job.
They're just getting open. That's it. I mean, I can't explain it.
They're doing better route running now. They're getting the timing's getting better down, and it's just Love is actually seeing the field. I mean, he was 2 steps of Vikings. Whatever they did, he was 2 steps in front of them. I mean, he knew exactly what was coming at him. I mean, they're either gonna blitz from here. Okay, I'll just throw it to Heath right in the middle. Boom. It's just he knows where the check down is.
And that's what Justin Fields has to do better too, is read the defenses.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's good at it.
And now you got Gary coming in, which is who could stop him?
Hey, Preston's coming on real strong lately too. In the past few games, he's been really coming on. Preston Smith, even Woods. But oh man, I mean Brooks, yours they have Wyatt. Yeah, you can have a handful.
We got just as many worries from your defense. So your guys' linebacking core is pretty solid.
Defense, ever since you got Sweat, has got a lot more pressure on the quarterback and making turnovers. I've been noticing that. And I think we're gonna have to watch for that. And hopefully we're ready.
They were getting pressure, but they weren't getting home. Then when we got Sweat, they started to get home, and then I was forcing turnovers because when we got the new linebacking core, I mean that was the starting point, right? When we brought in this, basically, 2/3 of the linebacking core was signed as free agents with Edmonds and Edwards, and all of a sudden the run defense got really good, but we weren't getting pressure on the quarterback. And then Sweat, I was at his first game in NOLA, and he was limited. And even that limited time, you could start to see where the pressure, they were making Carr more uncomfortable than they would have 2 weeks prior. And now you're seeing that payoff of Montez Sweat, where if we get another good edge rusher, this defense next year is going to be scary.
Well, if you trade that first pick, man, you got plenty of fucking ammo.
Right,
I would keep Justin Jones.
Justin Jones and Dexter. They both have been playing outstanding since the addition of Sweat.
Yep, Justin Jones. Yep.
It's funny how one player can make the rest of your team play a different way just because of some specialty he's got. I mean, I think that's what Goody's been lucky. He's been hitting on it. The few free agents he's brought in, they weren't nothing special. We put them off a practice squad, but Rasul Douglas, we got a third rounder for him, and Buffalo took him from us.
And he's playing outstanding.
Yes, and he was on a practice squad when we took him. I mean, it's just one guy comes in and makes your defense do something different.
The parity in this league is so tight that it's not really as surprising as you would think. I mean, from being an 11-win team or a 3-win team, the difference is really usually one or two players tops. I mean, it's just amazing how, because let's look at Minnesota. I mean, basically. For them, unfortunately, it's the most important position, but they are a solid quarterback, a Kirk Cousins, if you will, away from being a playoff team this year.
They'll have Russell
Kirk doesn't get hurt, they're probably a playoff team. They just, they got a little lucky with Dobbs at first, and the wheels fell off, and then they've been searching. Look what happened to San Francisco last year. They were great until Mr. Irrelevant gets hurt, and then it's one player, and those two cases are bad examples because the quarterback, which is probably the most important of that. Yeah. But sometimes it's the difference of a tight end or a running back or an edge guy or a single corner can completely change the fortune of the entire team.
Yeah, when Jones went down, that actually hurt our offense. You can see the it hurt us. And then once he started coming back, and he started getting a lot better. And like the last 2 weeks,
Aaron Jones is your catalyst.
Yeah.
On offense, Jones is your catalyst, no doubt. And I don't know. I take it he's signed through next year. Hopefully he's healthy for you.
Yeah, he is through next year. He resigned this year. He took a pay cut to stay with the team.
That's right. That was Dylan. His contract's up.
Yeah, Dylan's contract probably will not be extended.
I think we're going to redraft a new running back. I think high draft we'll get a running back.
Plain and simple. This game is either a spoiler. Green Bay's going to go in because they need the win to get in the playoffs. They're playing at Green Bay. It's going to be fucking loud.
Yeah,
very loud.
It's going to be a good game. I mean, one thing about everybody's scared about Barry. Barry's this horrible defense. Well, he always does pretty good against the Bears, though. He always had good defenses against the Bears.
And Aaron Jones and Dylan always killed us. If Aaron Jones was out, Dylan would have high rushing yards.
What's funny is, look, if this game was going to be loud anyways, it's Bears-Packers. Week 18 playoff implications. I'm going to throw it up one more time because why not? Dude, this is going to make that noise level go to 11. Why do you have an that goes to 11? Because Justin Fields said there's nothing to do here but watch Green Bay football.
Well, maybe he just knows he's already out. He's already out. He might just come here and say, you know what? I'm here to get paid, and I'm out of here.
I mean,
since I got
you know what? I'm just gonna throw a bucket right to Alexander. Here you go, Alexander.
Honestly, is this even really a slam on the Packers or their fans?
No, not really, not at all.
No, so
I think he took it easy. It was kind of an easy little poke.
John, you think Justin Fields is going to throw the game for us?
No, he won't. He won't do that.
Let me ask you guys this. You guys see Love coming in. Love is a total different guy from the way Rodgers was. When Rodgers scored that touchdown and all the fans were screaming at him and he yelled, "I own you," because they were flipping him off. You will never see that from Jordan Love. We talked about this on our show. He will never be the guy going, "Fuck you, I own you," flipping you off back or any of that. He's a good
State Farm, really? The belt? Nah, he won't.
Yeah, he won't do that. No,
he won't, man. He's not that kind of guy, man. Love is a different kind of guy. He's a mellow.
Yeah,
well, I think
he shows no fear in the pocket, bro. He has no fear. You have to see him get worried.
I think Love made out because he sat behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Bears don't have. We never did that. We never did that because we never had that quarterback to sit behind.
Yeah, what really took him over the edge is getting the fucking Aaron Rodgers quarterback coach and Brett Favre's quarterback coach. God damn it. It's not top of my tongue. I can't.
But I know John. We'll give you back Getsky. We'll give you him back.
No.
And maybe Lucas Patrick.
And Tyler.
Thanks for that. We want him. You guys want Joe Barry? We're giving away. We'll actually pay you to take him.
Well, he might take over your Bears defense.
You got to give me a year of supply of cheese.
Yeah.
Dorn remembers when
Whatever
when
it
they
takes.
drafted- Dorn actually remembers when you guys drafted Love, what I said, and that I actually said it was a good deal that they drafted him when they did. And look at I think it's funny when the sports companies, they know how to raise quarterbacks in Green Bay. Well, yeah, no, not really. I mean, look at the plan on Love went long by about an extra year or two, but what they did was still a good idea. And what teams used to do.
the best time to get a quarterback.
It's not like Green Bay revolutionized how to bring in a young quarterback. They just did what teams always used to do.
Yeah.
They draft the kid in the first, second round. He sat for 2 or 3 years.
And you always go by when you don't need a quarterback is the best time to get a quarterback when you don't need one.
Oh, then we're fucked.
That used to be the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And we were going to do that with Fields, but then the fans got impatient because, oh my God, you spent the number 10 pick on him. You got to play him right away. No, they should have let Fields sit for a full year.
Another running.
You paid what? How much you pay for Fields?
He's still on a rookie deal for 2 more years.
I mean, how many draft picks did it take to get him?
We swapped ones, and I think we gave New York the number one as well.
Following year, so it's two first picks for him.
Yeah.
This guy says we should get another running back. Next. Jesus.
So I kind of agree with him on the O-line, but only at a center position.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the rest of our players are
We don't need another running back.
What I would keep Fields for another year and see if he actually takes another leap up more. And it gives you time to build that roster better, like the front line, and get their pass rusher and build it more. So if you do need a rookie comes in, that team is more complete.
Well, our front line is.
I mean, are you guys really considering keeping Fields another year?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't you at this point?
He's improved every year. Yeah.
I mean, you guys had the number 1 pick for last year, and now you're going to get it again this year.
Well, they're going
you didn't take a quarterback.
I'll explain this. Here's the funny thing. Everyone's like, oh, my God, the Bears need to move on from Fields. The Bears need to get rid of Fields. They need to draft the quarterback. But when Fields goes to Atlanta, oh, my God, they're all of a sudden a Super Bowl contender. Well, wait a second. If Fields is so terrible, but the Bears need to get rid of him, but if he goes to Atlanta, they're going to the Super Bowl? What the hell and kind of world do we live in? Every time I see these people, like, you guys need to move on from Fields. You need to trade him to Atlanta, or you need to trade him.
Do you actually think he's a franchise quarterback? Do you really actually think he's a franchise quarterback?
It's like
I don't.
All these fan bases and nationally syndicated sports writers who are saying the Bears need to draft Caleb Williams, in the same breath or their very next article talk about how when Justin Fields goes to Atlanta, all of a sudden Atlanta's going to be king of the South. And they're going to make deep playoff runs because Justin Fields is a generational player that's going to change them.
So why can't you take that?
How does it make
Make
you
a
feel
trade.
that
Get
Jordan
something for him.
Yeah.
Get something for
How does
him.
it feel that Jordan Love comes in his first year, right? His first start, has more yards and more touchdowns than any Bear quarterback in their history.
So, you know what, though, John? I'll say this. He also had 3 years of sitting on the bench to learn he's not a typical rookie. He's not a rookie. Let's face it, he's not a rookie.
Why would you
starting full time and
you had 84 quarterbacks in 103 years.
Fields has improved.
That's a lot of quarterbacks, dude.
Look at
Fields has stuff about our good side though, like breeding linebackers. You know, like everybody's got their specialty. Obviously, quarterbacks is.
Well, we're talking about Fields. We're not talking about linebackers. We're talking about Fields. It's time to move on.
Why would we break up that duo between Fields and DJ Moore?
In Moore's best year of his career.
Why? I don't understand why.
This is Moore's best career year.
How many games did you win this year?
He's got every record right now. The only one he don't have is the catch.
How many games did you win this year?
Bears records are NFL
record. Not he's winning games. He wins games every fucking year. He's not a reliable quarterback. Every year he's been hurt. Every fucking year.
So is Bakhtiari.
We're talking about quarterbacks again. Quit fucking changing the fucking subject.
Just saying. If you look at the stats between Love and Fields, yes, Lee was hurt, If Love's got 4 extra games, if you add 200 yards to each of those games, which roughly that's
they're going.
He's only going to be 200 yards less.
Jordan Love is reliable.
200 yards less.
Fields has never been reliable.
He runs better than any.
Hold on. Time out.
I don't understand what you guys are saying.
Jordan Love can scramble just like yours.
I can just do that. Okay, so let me answer. So the records were for DJ Moore career best, his personal career best.
These are his personal numbers that are best. Okay.
But by PFF grading, the most dangerous quarterback to receiver tandem in the NFL this season was Fields to Moore. That's why Woody's like, why would you want to break up the most dangerous tandem in the league? And the other thing I was going to say before everything else started, if you've watched Justin the last couple of weeks, you can't tackle this kid in the back. He's dynamic. He's a playmaker. He's elusive. You've got all the hallmarks of, say, the guy who's probably going to be the MVP this year, Lamar. The comparisons are there. So, and John, I'm going to unmute you now. So the comparables are there between Fields and Lamar.
No comparison.
Watch out. Hold on, John. Don't make me remute you 2 seconds later. Why would you move on from a guy who's showing you all that talent as part of the most dangerous combo in the league?
And Justin Fields' previous years, he didn't have a number one receiver.
No.
His number one receiver last year was Cole Kmet.
Okay, but all right. So what do you expect? I mean, what are your numbers for him that you guys think that this is? I mean, is he going to hit 2,500 yards?
Well, if he can stay healthy and say in this draft we get Marvin Harrison, no question about it.
How many games has he had over 200 yards passing? That's my question. How many games?
About it.
I mean, he's got. I'm not. If you guys want to keep him, I don't see the reason to keep him when you sitting with 2 number ones and all this money. You could go get another quarterback and let him sit a year behind him. Sit a year behind Fields for one more year. Because he's got his 4-year contract, right? He's got
one more year.
He's got one more year. That's what I'm saying. He's got one more year. So you could go get another quarterback but you don't have to take that 5th year. Because he's already been in 3, right?
Well, it's like put this way: the arguments you're making are the arguments that people were making about Lamar Jackson last year for Baltimore. Why are you going to pay Lamar all that money, right? And a lot of your arguments you're making are not much different than the arguments that were being made about Lamar Jackson. And what's Lamar right now? Probably on the best team in the NFL and the MVP, right?
He was looking at the MVP. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And actually, tell you the truth, Jordan Love has better numbers than him.
And with Fields, every year you're seeing progression. You're seeing
it must be that fucking that bear Wi-Fi.
It must be that central time zone.
Must be in Florida,
Well, I understand you guys' progression and growth and everything on that. I just would think his 3rd year in, he would be further along than he is. And if it wasn't this far along, then maybe I would be considering getting another quarterback just to.
This is really his 2nd year.
His 2nd year. Okay.
It's really his 2nd year.
Okay.
There we go. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Florida
time.
Wi-Fi. What can I say?
Central time zone.
But no,
if you guys want to keep on losing, that's fine with me. If I can give him a big contract, sign him to $500,000.
We'll give him a Jordan Love contract.
500,000 sold. That's cheaper than league minimum.
Yeah.
Good shit, John.
500 million. 10 years.
Hey, Mike.
He's not going to get a Mahomey contract.
Hold on, guys. Hey, Mike, can you look up his sport track really quick? While he's looking that up, let me tell you something about Field that's interesting. I looked up his sport track about 5 weeks ago. I said, it might not be bad to extend him while he's cheap, right?
Right.
About 5 weeks ago, his sport track was about 38 to 40 million a year. Mike, what's the sport track at today?
Hold on, I'm looking.
Okay.
I don't know, but he won't accept the Jordan Love contract. But I would say give it to him.
See, that's what we got a great quarterback. You got a quarterback at greedy. He wants everything, man. He wants his money.
I'll almost bet his sport track is north of 45.
Yeah, pay him all that money. And then if you guys want me in the basement, that's fine with me.
I mean, so
John, we all love you, man.
I'm just trying to understand why. I want to understand why you guys want to do it. That's my only thing. Because I mean, if I was a Bear fan, I would be.
It's like beating a fucking same horse. Fucking like,
I would be more up in arms. So I'd be more up in arms if my management can't get a quarterback whisperer in here to even get us a franchise quarterback. I mean,
well, so he's worked. Yeah, if you look at it for sports track and for their trajectory, and they're usually pretty close for the most part. This is saying $47 million a year.
So that's more than Daniel Jones's contract.
But it's been going up the past 4 weeks, and
how many games has he won you this year?
So that's what they're saying. He's worth $47 million a year.
Yeah. Yep.
They're saying 6 years at $283 million.
That's what they say that
That's
Justin
what they're
Fields.
saying roughly, yes.
Holy fuck! Can you put Jordan Love in there? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I can.
It's like 40. It's like 40.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yeah,
I was just curious.
40.
I mean, Fields been in here a couple. He's had a little more time in. So they've had a little more.
Yeah, I think Fields. Love is 40.
That doesn't say much.
I'm just.
Well,
that's amazing because considering that Mahomes gets almost $50 million a year.
Well,
you guys are actually going to be pretty shocked.
Yeah, hold on a second. Love has been a professional football player longer than Fields.
Well, the thing is that the question is about the $47 million. Is Justin Fields better than Daniel Jones? That's getting $45 million.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, but this one's going to shock you guys. I'm going to bring it up right now. They're projecting him at market value $43 million per year. 4 years.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that works? Like, this ain't crazy. And if you look at the signings, they're pretty fucking close on spot on. Sometimes they'll take a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean,
what's Jordan Love's contract now?
I wonder what Jordan Love's contract would be if he gets in the playoffs his first year.
What's his contract now?
He'll go up. They'll go up even more.
I'm not sure what the number. When they redid it, I wasn't.
It was like lowballing him.
Yeah.
I know. I was like,
he's $9 million.
$9 million. Oh my god. Hey man, who's getting their money's worth on their quarterback right now?
No shit.
Well, if you think about it, both are because Fields is on a rookie deal. I mean, look at.
Oh yeah, he's still on his rookie contract. He's still on his rookie. Yeah.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
See that comment that we're scared that what Fields become? We're not scared at all because we know he's gonna be hurt all the time because the way he plays the football game.
But if we get a good center,
he's been hurt every day, every year. He's been hurt.
Hear me out for a second. That has everything to do with Jenkins being hurt half his career. But when he's playing, he's the best at his position.
Yep.
I mean, if you want, let's be real. I mean, the way the NFC North is looking right now, Minnesota gets a good quarterback. They are a dangerous team. No matter how bad Quezzy tries to screw them up, because Quezzy's a little crazy, but shit, it worked, right? We all wrote the Vikings off. That defense we thought was going to be absolute trash, and it's
that wasn't Quezzy's doing. That was I mean, I think it's their DC is actually really fucking good.
Oh yeah, he is really good. But I mean, that's a good team. The Lions, we have to give them props. They won their first NFC North title in history. 30+ years, they finally get Campbell is their Ditka. He'll never pay for a meal in Detroit again, especially if they win a playoff game, right?
It's nice.
Yes, great. But they have to go for 2.
Yeah, Green Bay.
That's so stupid.
You guys are better. I think you guys are better than what even you thought you'd be at the beginning of the year. The Bears are where I thought they would be at the beginning of the year. That team you don't want to play at the end. Next year for the NFC North is going to be a hell of a freaking ride.
I still see that Packers still whooping your ass on fucking Sunday though.
That doesn't surprise me that you say that, John.
I really don't.
It's going to be a good game. It's pretty equal.
It's going to be a good game.
It's a good game for us, yeah. It's going to be fucking.
You know what? Let's do this. Because, this is why John has, his own team. John, please tell us about the team.
You just ain't hearing the truth. That's all it is.
John, I don't have any control over your music, so.
Hey, I'm just glad I get paid to come here, man.
Hey, yeah. Bill paid you to come here?
Sing it, John. You know it.
Go Pack, go! Fuck the Bears!
So let's get.
Like
to,
my
let's
thing
get
said, Bears still suck.
Wait,
Skull.
wait. Bring that up. Bring it. Where I just. There we go. Wait a minute. That's the
Fuck
best
Skull.
one yet. He's paid in cheese, folks.
Oh boy.
He's paid in cheese.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
So let's get down to it. We got a little piece of business. Normally we do this on Sunday. In the
Nope.
comments, let us know who's going to win the game for Week 18. Look at Woody. Woody's. We're going to not do our Woody and Dan will not do the predictions tonight because we will wait till Sunday. Unfortunately, though, for Dan to have any kind of chance, it depends how Woody goes. They're not going to give the predictions for this week. Mike and I are out of it. We can. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win this game. And, John, I'll start with you because it's probably going to be the most entertaining of all of them. What's your prediction for this week's game?
I think I got it 28-17 Packers.
Wow, that's a shorter, lower score than I thought he would say.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go much bigger than that.
No.
How about you?
It was like 40-10. He's going to say
28-17.
Bears.
Me? Or yes?
Yeah,
I say it's 31-17. I don't think you guys are going to be able to stop the offense, man. I mean, I know your defense is better. You're going to slow our run game down, but it's Jordan Love in the pass game that you're going to have to deal with, and I think we got the edge.
Mike?
Go ahead, Dan. What do you think?
I think you're underestimating our defensive backs.
No,
I think you're underestimating it. But I think we're going to pull off the upset, 30-27.
Hey, can you
We'll
tell
Woody
Reed?
and Dan for
Can you-
Sunday unless you guys want to go now.
And Santos is going to be Woody's player of the game next week.
I'll give him the option. Woody, Dan, do you want to do your predictions now or do you want to wait till Sunday?
Don't matter to me.
All right, Dan, go for it.
I'll wait.
All right.
No. Dan cheated to get up by my standing. So
No, he's been one game behind you for a while. Go back and look. Next excuse. But go ahead, buddy. What's your score prediction?
But I picked the right against Tampa, so I should get the tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker is going to come down to points if it's different teams and different outcomes. It's going to come down to total points.
Sorry.
That's what I thought.
Sorry. I got to think more.
All right, we'll let Woody and Dan think more.
Yeah, I gotta think.
Until pregame Sunday because they have a title on the line. I'm going to go with the hottest defense in the league right now that leads the league in turnovers. I'm going to go with look, we have the only player in the NFL who's a sack leader and not one, but two teams at one time in Montez Sweat. I think that defense I think that D is going to be big. I'm going to take the Bears in this one, and I'm going to call it 28-24. Ooh,
Dan, I'll give you the choice. If you want to do it, I'll do it.
I don't care.
Go ahead, do it. What's your score prediction?
I like how he threw him under the bus real quick.
Yeah,
I'm good at doing that.
All right, Bears 23, Packers 20.
God.
Ooh. Okay.
You told him to go. Don't cry now. Took his chance.
Like I said before, damn it. Like I said before, it's Packers they're playing to get in the playoffs. It's in Green Bay. It's loud. It's in Green Bay though.
Hey,
it's hard to do, but you can do it, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to, and I'm realistic, so I'm gonna say 28-25 Green Bay.
There it is.
Yeah, that's pregame. Yep. That's
Dang, Bears
we're
win. It's going to come down to points.
A possible tie in the standings.
Boy, you don't like that Carlson of our kicker, man.
Well, I like his brother.
Yeah. We're hoping he learns something from his brother.
Hey, your buddy Mason Crosby's doing good in New York, isn't he?
Hey,
no, he got cut already.
Real quick. So we see some business here. If the Bears win, we will have a draw on our standings update which means Mike and I will have to discuss. We may have to use the playoffs as a tiebreak.
I
But
think
my-
we should
my
do it on
suggestion
points.
is-
Whoever's closest in the points for the
No,
total.
I want to make this harder. I think our tiebreak should be this: whoever the Lions play in their first playoff game, that game will be our tiebreak.
That's up to them.
Hey, I know Ken's been on the show 3 years.
This is the
whatever.
Packers prediction.
I've been on the show 10. Why does Ken make the fucking rules?
Yeah, really.
What I was going to add is if the Bears do win, depending on the Vikings,
You should just pick a crazy ass stat for the
And-
Packer Bear game. Sacks.
and
Whoever
we
gets
all
the
have
most
to be
sacks,
the same
call it out.
record.
All right, well, I guess we could do some tiebreaker stuff. That's not a bad idea.
Who gets more sacks, Gary or Sweat?
Yeah, I mean, I'd do something like that. I mean, if you guys can actually predict how many fucking sacks somebody's gonna get, or it's like predicting picks. It's like
Gary's all over the field, isn't he?
yeah. Well, they're moving him around now.
Oh man, fuck.
Since he's gotten healthier, and that's why his sacks total gone up. I mean, once he was off a count, man, they started moving him around the line.
Man, I don't want. Oh man, if I say this, I'm going to be a Green Bay fan. I'm going to be sounding like. I'm just going by what Gary's been doing.
Hey, the first matchup, we should have had Fields a couple times. He's a little slippery fucker. I mean, straight up, Alexander had him dead to rights, and he whiffed.
That's just another reason why you keep him. You can't bring this guy down the pocket. He's slippery.
Oh man.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a fun game. We got some good predictions. We'll see who wins our little internal fight there between Dan and Woody. This is not the week one game for sure. Two totally different looking franchises coming into this. I mean, and honestly, I'm surprised that this is not the flex game because it's a win or go home for the Packers, oldest rivalry in football. Who do they give the flex game to? It's not even. It's a playoff implication game. But come on, nothing's bigger than Bears Packers on the final week of the season with a playoff implication.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I just hope we don't end up like last year, man, because I don't want to do it 2 years in a row.
Look, first of all, we don't have the diva, and secondly, I mean that was part of the problem. I mean, Rodgers plays he needs to feel something, and Jordan Love just just goes out and plays.
Well, Jordan Love ain't tunnel vision like Rick Rodgers was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He just goes to play.
The late game is Bills Dolphins. I mean, really, they took that over Bears Packers.
Yeah, but does that have playoff implications though?
Buffalo, yeah, Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo's in it, are they?
No, but by the time
I know a division is still up for grabs over there. One or two divisions are up for grabs.
Right.
But as far as playoff positions, by the time that game plays, they could both be in already. Because
another thing too,
that and the other.
The Rams and the 49ers, they're all sitting there players.
The Packers are legit one of the few teams in the hunt.
McCaffrey's hurt, so that's why they're sitting him. He's hurt. He could play, but they're taking Kittle's not playing.
Yeah, they said a lot of players ain't playing.
Right.
Yeah, you lock up the number one seed. That's why you do that. You lock the number one seed so you can rest your guys.
One thing about it, the winner, like the Rams winner or something like that, we can either play the Lions or we can play the Cowboys depending on that game.
Yeah, I'm a big Cowboys fan this week. So
you
know why, right? Everybody
Packers,
know why I'm a big Cowboys fan this week? Anybody want to mention?
You're a fan of the Eagles?
Very good.
I mean,
very good.
The Packers are one of the very few teams who are a win and get in without needing anyone's help.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's not the flex game because to me, like last year, the flex game, the flex game, Packers Lions kind of sucked because we already knew the outcome before the game, right? Because it happened earlier. But this year would have been perfect because really, if the Packers win, they're in. If they lose, all of a sudden, all this other stuff had to have happened during the day, depending for this team, that team, and the other.
We're more prepared for it now.
The NFL. A lot more sense than Dolphins Bills. I mean, by the time they play that late game, they could both be in. It might just be the difference of who's the division winner. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Don't we got games on Saturday and Sunday?
You got to think though. There in the NFC, there's no. I know San Francisco number one seed, But which San Francisco team is going to show up in the playoffs? The ones that are dominant or the ones that lost 3 in a row?
Yeah.
So, but the AFC, Baltimore could prove that they could beat the big teams, man.
Yeah.
They're tough.
Well,
They proved
and
that
it
they can
feels like
destroy
Kansas City, the world champs, the defending world champs, could lose one in the first round, and they could easily be beat.
Right.
The interesting thing about Kansas City, this will be the first time in Mahomes' career they'll have to play a road playoff game.
And this is the playoff picture right now.
You want to take that? You want to take the number 5 seed out? They're going to lose.
Good.
Well, they could switch, but like you said, for the
Yeah, it could switch. Yeah.
No, we don't want to talk about that.
because the Jags are in the hunt, the Bills are in the hunt, the Colts. So I mean, the Bills are going to play.
I mean, legit. And
which Josh Allen's going to show up?
I think the Packers are the only team, though, who control their own destiny by themselves.
Yeah.
We don't need no help. Yeah, we win. Yeah. We're in. If we lose, we're out. Same as last year.
I don't know why that wasn't
too, baby.
We're gonna start. We're gonna end your season like we started with the L. Get ready, fellas.
Well, it's well overdue for a Bear victory.
Oh boy.
Well, you could be saying that for the last 20 years.
And just think, Jordan Love first year gets in the playoffs.
I still remember that game that we're up 20-0. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. Halftime, they gave us three doses of steroids in his leg, and he came out and won that game.
2018
still hurts.
2018,
2018. That's when
Packer fans, you needed 3 decades to catch up to the Bears.
Oh,
no, we didn't.
Record-wise,
you know what? This Sunday, after Sunday, we 10 straight.
You know what's more impressive about that the whole record thing is you guys took 70 years to do it. We did it in half that time, and now have the lead.
I love people that bring up this.
I'm not bringing it up. You guys are bringing it up. I'm just saying.
You guys have been in the league just as long as we have. I mean,
at least you got history, not like the Lions.
Exactly.
I you know what's funny, because and I know you guys are gonna be mad at this, but I equated the Detroit Lions to Green Bay today, in the sense that the Lions have had tons of great players over the last 3 decades, and just for whatever reason couldn't win a division, couldn't get in the playoffs, can't get a playoff win. Green Bay has basically won the division, 7 out of every 10 years for the last 3 decades, and they can't win Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got a couple.
That man's not.
We're not talking about championships now.
Good old Wi-Fi cut out again.
But here, I'm going to tell you guys something. I grew up in Chicago. Okay, I lived there the first 30 years of my life. I went to high school in the 80s, and I'm 53 years old. I lived there and listened to all the bullshit Bear fans gave me for a lot of years. And the one thing they used to tell me, they used to brag on it, the head-to-head record. You will never see the Packers ahead of the Bears in my lifetime. That's what they told me.
Well, they're probably dead. They're probably dead now.
No, he's still alive. He's probably still alive somewhere. But I mean, honestly, man, you're right. You had a 20-game lead, man. There was no way that I ever thought that we were ever going to see us ahead in the fucking head-to-head race with you guys. But here we are.
I don't really want to talk about that comment.
Hey, we have more retired.
Everybody has their own opinion, but
we have more retired players, though.
Oh. All right, but I mean, how many rings? I mean, let's talk about it. Do we play for Hall of Famers or do we play for titles, guys?
Well, I mean, okay, look.
Well, so far we're a fucking classic, okay?
I think
that's one way to describe it.
Just think though, if Packers win Sunday, we went the hard route to get to the playoffs. Where Lions, they kind of, we won the division, we're going to the playoffs, and you know what? They ain't playing worth shit. They're not playing that good at all right now.
They're not. I think here's the thing, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is probably a positive for Green Bay too. Look at Green Bay enjoyed 3 decades with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Not many franchises can do that. Can say that
we don't have any either.
They've enjoyed great success with these 2 guys. Now you bring in Love. Will he be the next Hall of Famer? I don't know. It's too early in his career.
Yeah.
But what's great is for the feather in Green Bay's cap is they're getting another year of good quarterback play. Green Bay, for whatever reason, has had good quarterback play for 30 plus years. In that time span, the Bears have had more quarterbacks than Woody has sold cars this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're down in fucking Florida.
Yeah,
Green
you know what?
Bay's
You guys just need to find someone who knows how to develop quarterbacks, man. I mean, it's got to start at the top somewhere. I understand you got the monsters of the midway and you got a reputation for having a great defense and running backs, but
linebackers.
You need a quarterback. You need a leader, man. You need someone who's going to take you on the offense, and then you have your powerful defense clean it up. That's why we didn't win more titles. We had a great quarterback, but no defense to shut it down.
I think this is the most balanced Bears team as far as what you're saying goes in a long time. Even the 06 team, that was Lovie Smith's best offense, and it was ranked 15th. I think Cutler was probably the best quarterback we had leadership-wise. Unfortunately, when the offense was really good, our defense really sucked. And then the gassy year where they were ranked number 2, the defense was terrible. Cutler was putting up 46 points a game, but we're giving up 52.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, during the Cutler era, it was mired in the beginning with bad OC choices, bad coaching, honestly, because I think those early Cutler teams, had they had better coaching, would have been a lot better. Remember, Cutler made 2010. It was Cutler and the Bears against the Packers in the NFC Championship, and Cutler tears the ACL in the first half. So I mean, we've had flashes of it, but unlike the Packers, we haven't had sustainability in that realm. Because what do we follow Cutler up with? Well, we've been kind of wandering amiss for about 5, 6, 7 years. And now with Fields, I think we got some stability finally. I think you're going to see stability in Chicago for the first time since Cutler.
Now, could you see using your 10th pick, or 10th or whatever, your second pick, whatever? Could you see using that for a quarterback to push?
No. Actually, what's funny? I would rather not draft a quarterback and keep them develop Badgett, because you guys saw what he did as a backup this year as an undrafted free agent rookie. I think Purdy and Badgett kind of show people in the league you don't have to be the number 1 pick or the first round pick to be a very successful quarterback in this league. So I think with Badgett, if he's your number 2, you keep developing him. And if Fields doesn't pan out in the next 2 years, now we've got a Jordan Love-ish situation with Tyler Badgett.
If he has the tools. I mean, if he has a good arm, if he has a good footwork, everything else like that.
His dad was an arm wrestler. He has a good arm.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the
I thought that was pretty cool too when I saw that.
Yeah, for Badgett, you could see all those building blocks that you look for in a starting quarterback. Sure. He's got all of them. He's calm. He can read the defense, reads the pocket. He made a couple rookie mistakes, but I mean, he is one of those, he could be your starting quarterback in 2 or 3 years if Fields doesn't work out. I think that's the other thing that, when these guys from CBS and ESPN, the clickbaiters, are all saying Caleb Williams, they're forgetting the Bears have a guy on the roster right now who's got all those markings of being a very solid starting quarterback in the NFL, and that's Badgett. So if we draft another quarterback, I think it's more later in the round, if at all, to be the third option on this.
That's where you look at offensive line, get a receiver.
I think we talked about this before you guys got on. Most of us agree that Marvin Harrison Jr. is a target. If we're going to draft out a number 1, it's because we're going to number 2 or number 3. We're not going to go anything past Arizona because they're going to take Harrison Jr. if we don't.
Yep.
And then with the second pick, I think we'd all
pass rusher or offensive lineman. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I think it's become an edge or a center at that point. Yeah. And then the other need we may possibly have, or we will draft this in the draft. We will draft another corner or another safety because Jalen Johnson might be gone, or Eddie Jackson might be gone. But we'll go for more depth. But I don't mind us getting a guy in the 4th or 5th round, because look at the guys we're getting in the later rounds. Tyreek Stevenson, right? So, I mean, Foles is pretty good at talent in the draft. I think it's funny. I've seen a lot of the mock drafters saying the Bears need a quarterback, which I think is bullshit. I think I've seen 2 mock drafts where I thought they had it right, where they said the Bears need were O-line, edge, corner, safety.
To do it right, I think they just need to keep Fields and trade away that first round pick. Like you said, go back a few spots. Don't go too far back, but up back. And you got guys. We got two ones, two twos, don't you?
We need a
We got 1, 2.
Two first and 1 third.
1, 2, because we traded our second round pick for Montez.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I mean,
we need a punter
go back to we can go from 1 to either 2 or 3, which would be either the Commanders or New England. If we can dope them into thinking we're going to draft Caleb or whatever quarterback they want, yeah, we can get a pretty sweet haul and still get Marvin Harrison Jr. Now the question for Bears fans or for Poles would be this: if this is a pretty deep class from all intents and purposes at the wide receiver position, and we're getting ahead of our end of year show here. But if Poles doesn't value Marvin Harrison Jr. as a complete playmaker that he thinks would transform this team and says, I can get another good receiver at 10 or 15, then do we go, and I'll throw this back up because this was a quote from ESPN today, do the Bears do something like this?
Like I said, if we don't get the best player in the draft, what we need, he's fucking crazy.
Now look, there's been, you guys know how the fan bases go.
Yeah.
There's like, oh hey, we'll make a trade with the Raiders and get Max Crosby out of it.
See,
I mean, look, if we did that, I'd be like Marvin Harrison, who, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Last year he traded that first round pick. Like, why didn't he wait until almost draft day when you get better? You see what someone come up with something better. You know what I mean?
I think because we knew we weren't going to do better than DJ Moore because DJ Moore is number one.
I mean, I knew you guys want. You said he's got to be in that trade or it ain't going to happen, and they pretty much forced them to trade him.
And to be honest, at first, I kind of had your sentiment, John. Like, why do we do it so far out?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, what better deal are you going to get than swapping?
They probably want DJ. They probably want DJ bad, and today he comes in a deal or it's a no deal.
Yeah, because if you look at the other teams that were kind of looking for a quarterback, like how are you going to get a better deal than DJ Moore? They're number one.
Yeah.
This year they're number one. Next year they're and then that package. I don't think you're going to get a better package. So, like maybe with the Pats you could get their their number 2 overall this year, the number 1 next year, and a 5th rounder. I would do that. I don't think I would do it for a 2nd and a 5th this year.
Yeah.
It'd have to be deeper price than that, but or maybe I'd go for, they're the number 2, their 2nd round this year, their 2nd round next year, and a 5th.
Yeah.
That's possible. But I mean, I don't think the Bears, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is the guy, and if you talk to a lot of Bears fans who are on the Keep Fields train, I think everyone will say Marvin Harrison Jr. is the guy we all want. If that's the fact, then you can't you can't trade back further than 3.
Yeah. No, talking about receivers. No, talking about the Packers now. Okay. You're talking about receivers. You get Harrison and you get DJ Moore on one side and the other side. Now tomorrow or Sunday, whatever. Now we just Bo Melton. He's on our roster now. We signed him on our roster now. Now if you see Watson and you see Bo Melton on the other side, you think Watson's fast? Bo Melton's faster. You're gonna have 2 speed demons on the outside, or in the middle, wherever they use them. But you're gonna have 2 speedsters on that.
Well, I would just think it's funny if the Packers were to draft a wide receiver in the 1st round this year. I would die laughing.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind getting a true number 1. And Watson, I mean, he can fit wherever. You know what I mean?
We will never draft a wide receiver 1.
He won't. Yeah, I know he won't.
Are you pretty down on Watson from his performance?
No, because when he's on the field, he's good. He's awesome. But
can't stay healthy.
His calf injury, he's got to get that fixed and figure out why it keeps happening. He's got to get that
done. He missed?
I want to say at least 8 already.
Yeah, he's missed half the season this year.
Yeah, half the season already.
He started out with missing the first 3 or 4. Like last year, he only missed the first part of the season, but this year, not so much.
You know, I mean, come on, you guys just went through this with Bakhtiari missing all that time.
But
That's what I'm saying. I mean, now you
Bakhtiari's
got
getting.
Watson missing all that time.
That's why
Well,
we might get another get another true, even going get a free agent, get a veteran, whatever.
I mean, Zach
Well,
Tom has been phenomenal. Zach Tom has been really good
Yeah.
for you guys. I got to meet him when he was down here pre-draft. Funny story about Zach Tom. I met him down here pre-draft when he was coming out of college because they all come down here for Andrews Institute, right? And I asked him, I said, well, hey, if there was any team you wouldn't want to get drafted to, where and why? And this is before I told him I was a Bears fan. And I shit you not, he said Green Bay because of the weather. Because he's from Louisiana.
Yeah,
I totally get his answer, right? As
Yeah.
irony would have it, he gets drafted by Green Bay, and he's been really good for you guys.
Oh yeah.
But all right, I'm going to say this: how is the weather any different from Green Bay and Chicago?
There ain't none.
Nothing.
Well,
There's no difference
They
whatsoever,
got a bit
man.
of wind off the lake.
It's
Yeah,
no,
No,
it's
I
about
lived in
5
Green Bay.
hours
I
north.
lived in Chicago for 30 years. I know all about the lake, man. Trust me.
the weather's not gonna have no factor. Tell you that.
It's about
Maybe
10
come back
degrees
for the game.
colder, right? About 5 hours north. It's about 10
Yeah.
degrees colder.
Chris,
That's-
it snowed that day. Yesterday it snowed. It didn't, or last week it snowed. It wasn't snowing here. It was snowing down by you guys.
But I mean, can you blame a kid from Louisiana not wanting to go to a cold weather state to play pro ball? I get it.
All right, but I'm going to say this: Brett Favre, he's from Kiln, Mississippi. You think he wanted the cold?
Yeah,
He played
Favre's
it like he was
3.5
a kid,
hours.
man.
It's gonna be
I
about
could get in my
33
car
degrees.
and be at Favre's house in about 3.5 hours.
It's going to be like 33 degrees. It's gonna be heavy winds. It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, it's not
So
even
we're
going to be
looking-
nighttime. So
This is going to be a very fun game on Sunday. We're gonna have our pregame, of course, at 11:30, like we always do. I know Frozen Tundra is gonna have some stuff. It'd be great if maybe one of you guys came on for our live stream for the game too, because we have a good time with that. For those watching, this will be our last game doing the live stream as we're doing it. We're moving to the subscription service, which will be able to give you more next year. The Packers already doing a subscription service on their end, Frozen Tundra. We'll be doing that as well next year. But everyone, please join us Sunday, 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. Game time will be 3:25. So the plan is right now we'll do the pregame show. We may or may not show a game in between, but then we'll be back for the Bears-Packers finale. And gentlemen, what a finale this is looking to be. I mean, I don't think this is a cakewalk for either team. This is not the same teams we saw in week one. This is a game where Justin can really shut the critics up as far as whether the Bears keep him or not. For Love, it's really a, hey, I'm the next Favre Rodgers kind of game too. If you guys win, get to the playoffs, you have to figure if you guys win, that's going to be the talk. Deserved or not, that's going to be the talk. This has a lot of long-term implications, I think, for both clubs. I think more for the Bears and the Packers in that regard. And at the end of the day, I think both teams can say we're kind of like not where we thought we'd be, but maybe a little better than we thought we'd be.
definitely.
Do you know what I think it's going to come down to? It's going to come down to the quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks got a lot of pressure on them, especially Fields. I mean, he hasn't beat us yet. And you guys hate us. You guys want to win this
I
game
don't
so
think
bad.
Fields cares anymore.
Right?
I think after that last game, Fields is like, he's just going to throw it all out there. I mean, after the last game and after the fans with the we want Fields, I don't think he has any pressure at all. He's like, it's going to be within the league. I'm just going to go play.
But he wants to come out there and play good, though.
Well, I mean, they all do, but I would say if anyone's got pressure, I think it's Love has more pressure because of the playoff implications. Fields knows he's not going to playoffs. He's just going to go out to play.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he wants to beat you. You're not wrong, John. He wants to beat Green Bay, right? But
I think what happened, though, Love always seems like he starts out slow, and then all of a sudden, boom, then he starts clicking. Then he's like, oh, my God. Then it's like,
Isn't that a prerequisite to be a Chicago quarterback? You have to want to beat Green Bay.
yeah.
Yeah, but at this point, with all the Fields rumors, is he going to be there? Is he not? He just goes like, fuck it, I'm just going to go play. I think
Sometimes that's the best, though. That's,
think
you got
that
nothing to play
pressure-
for. That's a dangerous team when they got nothing to play for. They
That's
can
what I'm
throw all
saying.
different kind of gadgets. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I think for Fields, he has of the two quarterbacks, he has the least amount of pressure. He's like, I'm just going to go out there and play.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about the playoffs. I don't have to worry about. I'm going to be. Look at. He knows he's going to be playing the NFL somewhere next year if it's not Chicago. He's just going to. He's like, if anything, I'm going to go put stuff on tape and make it really hard.
He's going to get paid
I'm
either
just
way.
gonna play it and have fun.
No.
He's going to be loose. I think he'll be a lot looser than Jordan Love for sure.
You better hope he doesn't get loose and stay around and hold the ball too long because Gary be coming.
You know what's funny? So it's funny you say that because the longest hold time in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes, and Fields is right behind him.
Yeah.
But that should also tell you how good the offensive line has been in Chicago, that they're giving him 6+ seconds with the ball in his hands.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I believe that because, I mean, Nick, our illustrious host from our show, that's one of the things he pointed out about your guys' offensive line. I mean, everybody's like, his argument is why Fields is so bad because your O-line protected him so well. They had the highest rate of he had the highest rate for time to throw, and he wasn't throwing.
Where Nick goes wrong is this. It's not that he's bad because of that. It's their coverage sacks because he's not getting people to throw to downfield, and that goes on Getsy, and that's why we've been calling it for Getsy's head.
So you're saying lack of talent around him is what you're saying?
No, he's got the talent. It's just the scheme sucks. It's been easy for defenses to defend.
He's got to work on his pocket awareness too. He's got. I mean, last week too, he came around and swapped the ball right out of his hand.
That was a blind side. Yeah, on the blind side, I mean that happens to any quarterback. But
that happens a lot to him.
When Fields moves out of the pocket to extend the play and it's no longer Getsy and it's players doing things, the Bears have a lot of good success. I think Getsy's routes have been generic, maybe. They're not that great, and Fields has been Mooney, all of them have been victims of that. It's funny because when you look at the plays where the Bears do really well, it's usually broken plays where the players are creating out of Getsy's stuff. So that's why, but unfortunately, because the Bears' offense has done so much better the last 4 weeks, Getsy might keep his job.
Yeah. Well, one thing about for us, our big task, we got to shut down DJ Moore. We ain't gonna shut him down. We got to contain him because we ain't gonna shut him down. We got to contain him. And that thing, I mean, he's fast, he's big, he's physical. So Alexander's gonna have a day. Well, I mean, he's gonna have a handful with DJ Moore.
I mean, and for Darnell Mooney, he's playing for a contract, right? If he wants to stay in Chicago, he's going to have to play well. Darnell Mooney probably is one of the guys with some pressure on him in Chicago. He's got to play well. EQ, if he's not a healthy scratch, EQ needs to play for a contract for another year. Look at EQ, I think has been worth $1 million.
Lewis got to keep that guy, man. He caught some passes last week, didn't he?
No, EQ didn't do much. You know what? EQ is
no, I'm talking about Lewis.
EQ is one of the best blocking receivers, I'd say, in the game. The problem is he's had some injuries this year, but he's the Bleacher Report guy thinks he's gone, but for me, he's low risk, high reward at $1 million.
Yeah,
he's not his brother, that's for sure.
No, exactly.
If Mercedes Lewis doesn't want to retire, wants to play another year, I think he's worth the $1 million just for what he brings to the tight end room every day at practice, let alone one of the best blocking tight ends in the game. Tunyon for us has been a letdown, I think. I think
Tunyon had a good game last week, didn't he?
What now?
Tunyon had a good game, didn't he, last week?
Last week was his best game as a Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
he's a lifetime Bear fan too.
Yeah, he's a Chicago kid. Look, we have two tight ends that are born and raised Chicago kids, right? I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, it's got to translate on the field. I think there are a couple guys playing for jobs. Fields is not one of them. Fields is not. He's just going to ball. I think he's going to ball. I think Love has the pressure of trying to make the playoffs. Fields doesn't.
Yeah, but one thing about pressure, it just even doesn't phase fucking Love. It doesn't. You can throw anything at him, it doesn't phase him.
So if you guys miss the playoffs for what would this be, the third year or second year?
Second year.
Second year.
Is LaFleur on the hot seat next year?
No.
LaFleur, I think if LaFleur keeps Barry, he'll be on the hot seat for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, LaFleur to me is at times look clueless. Like the whole 49er debacle thing. Like when we lost to them in the playoffs, he's like, I didn't really put a lot of stock into special teams. What the fuck? How are you a fucking head coach and you don't put stock into to special teams? It's a third phase of the game. Whenever you talk about football, it's in three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So for him to say that to me is like you don't say to the Father, to the Son, and someone else. It's Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They go together, man. When he said that shit, he made it sound like it was so medial. I mean, that's why we lost to the 49ers, that game. I mean, honestly.
But you got to figure, too, that's when he first started, and he had you can build it overnight. It takes time. He knew he had to fix that offense. He had to fix the offense, the special teams, and everything is starting to come somewhat together. Their defense now is kind of like, man, what
it is he had to learn how to coach because Rodgers was our OC, man. Rodgers made the calls. The fucking LaFleur didn't realize how much power he gave over to Rodgers, and
game planning and everything.
I mean, and it showed. I mean, LaFleur looked very clueless in the start of this season, and still at times. I mean, who does a fucking double reverse on a 2-point conversion? Who fucking does that?
Eberflus.
Well, he might be from a school of LaFleur. That's probably why.
Beginning of the year,
look at Eberflus in week 1. With the going for it on 4th and 1 on your own side, the very first drive of the game, right? And the Bears don't convert. That set the Bears back 4 or 5 games, I swear. But I can at least say this with Eberflus as a head coach. I think we've all seen growth in his play, in his choices of do I go for it, do I not go for it. I think we've seen even with Getsy, even though I still don't understand 4th and short from the shotgun. I still don't get that.
Well, I think from a perspective on the outside looking in, I mean, Eberflus, he took over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, so they had 3 wins. He's already doubled his wins from 1 year to the next. Your GM had a fire sale and got rid of everybody to get you guys to this point. So I mean, honestly, if I'm looking at it, I mean, my head coach is probably on pace where he should be, because next year you guys got all this money, you got a couple more, first round picks. I mean, you guys are going to set yourself up for a good 10 years, man. We're all going to be competing. I think the Vikings are going to be on the out on this one.
With this draft, he can set themselves up for next year's draft too at the same time.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's insane.
Let me pose this question, because the Lions obviously are really good right now, and we're going to assume
they're good next year. Are they though?
Well, they won the division. I know how you feel, but they won the division. You can't take it away.
They're better than they used to be, but
they're going to be competing for the division next year, okay?
Yeah.
The Bears are going to be competing for the division next year. We can make the argument that the Vikings can compete. They're a quarterback away. The Bears can compete. So if the Packers failed to make the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row next year, are you guys looking at regime change in Green Bay?
No.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be against it, because a couple of times I've already, everybody said we're doing a rebuild this year, or retool, whatever you want to call it. I say it's not a rebuild till you get rid of the coaching staff. Then it's a fucking rebuild, because then you're bringing in a new scheme for offense and defense. I mean, a whole nother, they've drafted players going by LaFleur's offense and everything else. The last, 4 or 5 drafts. That's how good he's been drafting. And the same thing with the defense. He's stacked his defense, and Barry's just not using it the way he's supposed to.
Well, yeah, exactly. We need a defensive coordinator, that's for sure. But it's like, what was I getting at but when Murphy goes into after 2012 season, a new guy can take over his place. He might want to say, okay, I'm gonna bring my own guys in and wipe everything right out. Who knows? He could do that.
Well, that's why it's
he's in there.
Probably going to be Goody who takes over.
He might.
Well, fellas, we're gonna roll this up. It's been a good hour and a half, almost hour 40 this week. What you guys do Frozen Tundra? When is Frozen Tundra on for everyone?
Saturday nights we do 7 p.m. and then on Mondays we got open mic at 7 o'clock. Come hang out.
Yeah, and don't forget, everyone come back here at 11:30 Central on Saturday for pregame. That's 12:30 on the East Coast. We'll be doing like I said, the game stream at 3:25 Central for the final game of the year, Packers Bears, big implications. Then we will be back next Wednesday to wrap up the regular season as we prepare for the off season, and we'll go over the goods and the bads of the season. It's been a heck of a season, guys. Bears, Packers, Lions, this whole division.
Yeah.
Really, the only thing that's happened in the division that we all said would happen is we all kind of said the Lions would probably win the division. That's probably the only thing that's come true of most of the predictions. I predicted the Bears being between 6 and 9, and a team you don't want to play at the end of the season if you're in the playoffs. That's kind of come true. We'll see what happens this week. So, yeah, it's been a good year. It's been a great show today. We look forward to seeing everyone. Of course, everyone hope you had a great new year. It's funny that we're having Week 18 discussions in January when this used to be deep in the playoffs for us old heads out there.
Yeah.
Let us know on the Mike the Bear fan page who you think will win Week 18. On game day, if you put in the score and get the score correct, you will win some free merch, be it signed or otherwise. So we do that every week. Please go to Mike the Bear fan, like us, follow us on whatever platform you're watching this podcast, be it YouTube or on Facebook. I'm Mike the Bear fan. Give us a like or a follow. Also, we'll be talking about it on the page pretty soon. The subscription service that will roll out for next season. We'll be starting that pretty soon. It'll give you access to all of our stuff that we do here for the Halas Hall Report. Plus, we'll have the game feeds next year. Every single game will be on, and that's where we'll go from there. So, to our Packer fans, thank you for joining us tonight. Let's have a fun. We'll have a hell of a fun game on Sunday. Hope you join us for the live feed. To the Bears fans, let's go get this W and finish out the year strong. For Mike the Bear fan, Woody, Bear fan Mike, and Dan, be safe. Go Bears. We'll see you Sunday.
Kenny, give me a go pack go.
And next week, John Dorn and Robert, next week, win or lose, you guys are welcome to come on for the final Bears show.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll be there, man.
All right, can I get a bear down?
Bear down. Let's do it.
Nope.